right? We not having that. We want to build a community, forever. Kids win, we win. Period.
All right, we back. Class is in session. Welcome everybody to another episode of A.M.University. I'm your host, Antoine Miller. This is episode 38. Shanelle Perry.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I finally caught up to you. I'm great. Glad you can make it. Glad to
be here.
Yeah. So a lot of things I wanted to ask you, so we could just jump right into it. So you did a lot basketball wise. You was the player of the year as a high school senior, right? At Woodrow Wilson. Mm-hmm. I wish Wayne was here because I love this part. You scored, you know how many total? 2,000 what?
Like 94 or something.
2,094,
like
almost 2,100. That's a lot of points. Did you pass Reggie Welch? Or you did Reggie, right? Well, he was at like 23, 24, or something like that.
I want to say closer to 3,000. I'm not sure. It might have been 3,000.
Yeah, I think it was like 27. But you second though in Wilson history for sure. You did that. Went to Clemson, went to South Carolina. So you saw a lot of basketball. You played a lot of good basketball. So you saw a lot of things. So from a woman's perspective, I wanted to bring you on here because you are so diverse in the women's game, and women's basketball isn't talked about. In my eyes, women's basketball isn't talked about enough, and I'm not as well versed, because I'm from the boys' side so much. So I just want to hear your opinions on some things. So let's just start from an overall standpoint, from you playing and what you see now. You 25 years old.
Yeah.
What you see now. What where do you think the state of women's basketball is currently, like as a whole, like in general? Is it trending?
Oh yeah, it's definitely trending. I like it. I think it's it's going in the right direction. Like I feel like it's a lot of that. It's a lot of exposure that is being put out like now. Like especially like with the WNBA, like they're talking about like big topics like equality, racism, and stuff like that. So that alone is like just big to me because. The NBA, they're going to do but so much, but with, the women's side actually leading and, putting their best foot forward, it's just like, we're going up. I like it.
You think it was like that when you was coming up?
No.
No,
not. It may have been, I'm going to be honest, I never really followed like women's basketball. Up until like I got to college, and I was like, okay, this is something that I could do. Like it's it came natural.
Time out. You was as good as you was, but you never followed women's basketball.
Yeah, like I followed it, but I was like, I'm a LeBron fan, so it was just like all LeBron, and then I grew up watching AI, so it was like that type of thing. It was never like, oh yeah, I seen that woman and I want to be just like her. No,
you want to be like as good as the guys.
Yeah.
When did you know you was really good? Like what moment did you know? Like was it against an opponent? Was it against a certain team? Was it just you just playing by yourself and you did something like wow, I might be able to really play at a high level.
Honestly, I don't know. Probably like when I got to college.
Okay.
Because I think in high school, I knew it was, something there, but I feel like I didn't really live in the moment back then. It was just like everything was just happening so fast. I never really got to fully soak everything in. But when I got to college, I was like, okay, like I'm something, like, but that's really it.
And the competition level will change as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
Like high school, when did you really see competition in high school? Like when you went to the States, like, or when you started going up North Jersey or Central?
Yeah,
South got good women's programs, right?
Yeah, but I think in Jersey it was it was good competition here, but it was like, it was just certain teams like you had Willingboro, you had Winslow, and you had like a couple of Philly teams, Philly players, and like we'll all like do these leagues and like go to these different, like have pickup games and stuff. So it was good competition, but it was just a matter of like when and where, like playing against certain teams.
Right. Did you ever feel that like that you had obstacles that you had to go through that guys didn't in your playing career?
Yeah. Yeah, I would think. I would say exposure one.
Why?
Because it's like, if like.
And answer, please. How did you have to go about it, as far as being a woman? Because I wanted to get to that as well. But go ahead.
This is good questions.
Mm-hmm.
I would say so. The obstacle piece is just like, okay, I'll give you a prime example. Camden High boys basketball team.
Yes.
And Woodrow Wilson girls basketball team.
Yes.
So Camden High, they were, they're known for basketball, for sports, period, but boys basketball, and they went to like the States maybe 5-6 years in a row.
Yes.
And
lost everyone. you gotta put that
we were good, we were on a rise, and everybody knew who I was. But it was always like, I always thought like, okay, I want those, the way Camden High fans, boys basketball fans are, I want that same exact feeling and, that same exact experience. And I mean, granted, we went to States or whatever, and we kind of got that experience, but I feel like it was like, okay, this is still a girls team at the end of the day. And, I just feel like it was like kind of like I wouldn't say bandwagon thing, but it was like, it was real support, don't get me wrong, but it was like, okay, they're still girls at the end of the day, so
kind of fake in a way.
Yeah, in a
I
way.
gotta do it because they're from the city, but I really don't. I don't want to say I don't want to, because I understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Be honest, me personally, I feel that way about Wilson football team right now. Like they won 2 back-to-back championships,
and I still don't think they get enough love for that.
How much do you really hear about it?
You don't.
In the city?
That's why I don't think you.
You'll still hear about a 5-3 Camden High football team that lost in the first round, like to this day.
Right.
But people don't. Oh yeah, they did win 2 straight state champions. So I get what you mean. It's like, okay, I gotta put up a Facebook post or something like that because Wilson did win, but I don't really want to do it.
Right. I just feel like the support should be equal. But as far as obstacles, I just think it was always, for me, it was like, oh, you're good to be a girl, or I don't see it that way, because it's just like, I can do the same exact thing a guy can do besides probably dunk. Like, I'm just not as, naturally athletic as they are. But in actuality, like women's basketball compared to men's basketball, we're smarter. So, and I don't think people recognize that unless you're like, deep into the game and, learn the game. And NBA players always acknowledge WNBA players.
You're making so many questions coming to my head with what you're saying. I want to get back to the recruiting thing. Okay. I mean the exposure thing, but why do you think that women are smarter?
Smarter?
Yeah. Why do you think that happens? Because you wanted something like I've never coached women's basketball, but I've always heard that you tell a girl something once, they're going to do it exactly the way that you told them to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not that way, obviously, on the guy's side.
I think with guys, especially at like the pro level, it has a lot to do. Well, I wouldn't say a lot to do, but it kind of has something to do with probably like their ego and their pride. Like, oh, you're not, like, not necessarily like you're not going to tell me how to do this, but it's like, guys is, for the most part, is always like, I'm going to figure it out or do it my way because this is what I feel is right. Versus a woman, like, if we don't know, we'll ask or, try to, get understanding. I don't know, that's just my thought on it. But we're like more kind of rational thinkers and we understand a little bit more. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, y'all are smarter than us in general. Like y'all could be 15 years old. A woman might as well be 25. A guy is 15. He's 15. He might be 13. Like, so I think that's a really interesting thing. The ego getting away all the time with us.
Yeah.
But go back to the exposure. So this was your reality though, right? So yeah, you were a really good player, but it is what it is. It was I don't know how it was with AAU-wise when you was growing up and things like that. Did you have to do something different, or how was it for you to? Because you did go to Clemson. I mean, you went to Clemson, right? So, what did you have to do, or to get that type of exposure that you probably wouldn't have got otherwise?
I think when I played AAU, my AAU, like I played two totally different ways.
Okay.
Like AAU, I probably was way more timid and just like team player. I'm a team player in general, but I was just like, it was kind of like, oh yeah, you're pretty much our shooter, and that's what you do. But I can give you a little bit of everything in glimpses. Versus high school, I was just pretty much an all-around, player that can do pretty much everything. So
you had to be.
Yeah. So I think for like the recruiting process, I just kind of did a little bit of everything, and
Did you know when it was? I'm sorry, cut you off. Did you know when it was certain, like when it was coaches at certain AAU games and certain games it wasn't? And did you have a different mentality when that was coming about, or you went against a really good player and you had to show out?
A little bit of everything.
So you went into it strategically. You like you changed the game depending on, or you always was that tried to be that role player and just get in where you fit in.
A little bit of both. Because it'll be, some days it's like, I'm the role player and I just, do what I got to do. And then some days it's like, okay, like, I'm here too, like, I could do everything that they could do. So.
How did that go for you, your recruiting process?
It went okay. I think it could have went different. Knowing what I know now, I think it could have went a lot different. But I'm grateful for, Clemson and the opportunity. So. Yeah.
As far as different, in what ways?
Different on my behalf, like just, I have like a problem of just kind of like fitting in instead of just letting like how they say like let your light shine, let your own light shine. I kind of like I get in my own way sometimes where I just dim my own light. So I think in that aspect, that's one thing that I would have changed. And then also just like learning about the recruitment and just being on top of it, because at the time I was running track too for Camden High, and I went to Brim, so it was and then Wilson didn't have a track team after my freshman year, so my mom was like, oh no, you gotta run track, you gotta stay in shape or whatever. So I did that, and it was kind of like I was missing kind of some of the big tournaments and stuff like that. So I think that's one thing I would change, is just, my portion of just being prepared and, being hands-on with talking to coaches.
Again, you brought up another point that I got to go back to, because you sound, do you remember DeRay Fuchs?
Yeah.
You sound like splitting images of her as far as on the basketball court. So, again, I don't know if you remember. Again, the other girls won't say it. She was the best player on that Wilson team as a sophomore.
Ray?
But those other girls was really good.
Yeah.
They were really good, but they wasn't deferring to a 15-year-old sophomore. She didn't understand how to handle that, right? And it's kind of going back to you. Why would you have to dim your light? I work for this.
Right.
Like, it is what it is. So I'm not taking a backseat to anybody.
Right.
Did you feel like that? Like I don't want to be an outcast with my teammates. You know what I'm trying to get at? Like,
yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Because you feel like the bad guy in a way if you try to.
Yeah, and I mean I've had that conversation with one of my college coaches too, and they actually pointed that out to me. So.
You always wanted to be kind of just one of the girls?
No, I'm just naturally like I'm a laid back person. So it's like to me. And I'm spiritual. So I feel like whatever happens is supposed to happen the way it's going to happen. And, when my time come, my time will come. So that's really how I, like, look at life. And I think that's, like, it's a good and a bad thing, because it's like, okay, you got it, but you gotta use it, too, So,
okay.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So... You played play high level Division I basketball. What's some of the differences between the way they treat boys and girls in the NCAA? I mean, like with everything, because Ray was telling me things I've never heard of in my life.
Yeah.
You know, so again, I don't know.
I would say, just from my experience, so at Clemson, it was like a whole, support thing. Like the guys had so many fans. It was crazy. And then
was they good when you was there?
They were okay. So the year before I got there, they made it to they made it far in maybe the NIT. I'm not sure, but they were pretty good. They were decent. They had like KJ McDaniels. He went to the league. Yeah. They had a couple of good players right before I got there.
Okay.
So they were decent, but they had so many fans. And then when it came to us, it was probably 50 to 100 fans, and that's not a lot for how many they could fit in that gym. Yeah. So it was you could hear a pin drop sometimes. I ain't even gonna lie. But I understand, I understood the program was coming up, on a rise and stuff like that. But it was just that's one thing, okay, it's a lot of guys, all the men programs, they got a lot of support and, fans and stuff like that. And then as far as just even I would say gear-wise, the guys will come in with so many different sneakers that have Kobe's, KD's, LeBron's, whatever. And we'll have maybe 2 to 3 pairs, but it will be some of them will be Team Nike stuff. And I'm just I mean, I know, money's coming in. This is a Nike school.
Sure.
It's money there. We can get something.
Right.
But eventually we started to get a little bit, more, especially after Clemson won the national championship, the football team. So that was
Oh, you was there around that time when Dabo started winning.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was there when they went back to back. They lost the first one, won the second one. I was there. Yeah.
What about just daily life? As far as y'all
daily life.
Anything different? Did they cater to the men different on campus?
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
How many boosters would a girls team have compared to? I don't know if you've seen stuff like that, people that put money into the program that was alumni and things like that.
I think it was even because it has. Well, I'm not sure, but what I think, from what I think it was even because it's they have this whole program. It's called IPTE, and they do it that's how they do it. I guess I don't know. I never really paid that part.
Yeah. How do we get past that?
That's a good
because that's a business now.
Yeah.
So it's I go back and forth with that a lot. I mean, you still got to worry about the business. You still got to worry about equality at the end of the day, because I'm pretty sure the lacrosse team was saying the same thing you were saying.
Probably.
Right? We can't get.
We can't do this, and they got that. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's the main question. How do
I think, to be honest with you though, I think y'all gonna have to be doing some if you could go score on that girl, you're gonna have to do a 360 reverse through your legs, windmill layup, instead of just laying the ball, because it's the reality though, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the reality. People care about the way women look and things like that, and you got to use all that. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how America views it.
Right.
How many women is making money off the court in the WNBA?
Not too many.
We know the main one.
And not a lot. Right.
But we know the main one, and it was probably Skylar, right?
Yeah.
But it's because of how she looked.
Yeah, that plays a major part.
And you could play, and it's that.
And
that's wild, but
I feel she's helped change, the game.
Yeah.
Off the court, just getting people to even look at sports because of how she looks. And I think it's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's it's unfair.
Yeah.
And then going back to when you asked the difference of basically equality in men and women's sports. Like just this past the NCAA tournament, when the men had everything laid out for them, like from gear to workout equipment to meals, and then you go to the women's side and it was like, what? Like high schools are getting better treatment than this. And it was just the whole, like, you know, people pointing it out and stepping up and saying something. So now it's like, now you want to do it because people are saying something, like, and it's kind of like, you know, what goes on in life. Like, we got to sit here and watch people die on camera, and now, like, you guys want to act on it. Like, it's crazy.
Like, I really don't put any merit into whatever's going on, like,
Right.
on TV. Like, this big company want to sponsor
Right.
this black
Right.
thing that's
Right.
going on or whatever like that. And, like, we support you. And everybody, because it's the wave,
Right.
right? Like, but y'all been in business for 40,
Right.
50, 70 years.
It's money there.
And never said a word.
It's
But
money.
now you affecting their pockets.
Right.
So we got to get down with the thing that's going on.
Right.
It's like, it's the same thing with women's basketball. That's why what you said in the beginning, I kind of don't know. It's like, because people are looking at women's basketball differently, but if you don't look at it differently, you won't have a problem with your company because everybody's coming at you.
Right. And people actually are starting to like watch and like women's basketball. Like I feel like it's a thing, like if you don't watch it or if you don't like it, like if you never tried it, you don't know if you like it or not. And I think like when, you know, just them women wearing like, you know, shirts, like, you know, equity, like stop racism, stuff like that, that puts a whole, like that gives them a lot more attention. And then once they, you know, once people gravitate towards that, they'll look and see like, okay, they're saying something, they're fighting for something. And then once they get into like, okay, watching the game, okay, these women can play. Like, so I think that's how it, like, you know, starts off, like just the attention thing. But it's like, that's not right. Like, why must we go through this and it's just basically a handout for the guys? I don't know, it's crazy.
I got ideas, but it just I don't know.
It's a hard. It's gonna be a
it's gonna be a long fight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long fight, but it's happening though. Like, so I mean, he played at Clemson for a while, but I've always been a Dawn Staley fan, just from her demeanor, right? So I gotta hear how was it playing for her, because I know she coached just like a dude. I know she coached just like a dude. So like, I know you was only there for 1 year at South Carolina, but how was it playing for Dawn Staley?
It was good. It was. So so the backstory, I'm gonna give backstory. The backstory in that was my college coach that was at Clemson at the time. They were teammates, and like for the same exact years in college, they were teammates. So they were like really good friends. And South Carolina and Clemson are rivalries, so they were our rivals. And you know, every time we played them, I did what I had to do basically. So when it was time for me to, you know, decide what I wanted to do with my last year, because I had an extra year of eligibility, when it was time to decide, I was like, okay, I've been over here, you know, things ain't been the best, but you know, I made the best of my opportunity. And I've been watching them because obviously they were our rivals, but they were like, they won the national championship, like they were on a rise. They came from a similar like the program was similar to where we were at the time. And to go from there to this, it's like, okay, that's like great. Like that's ultimately what I went to Clemson to do. And I mean, it didn't happen, but so I got there. It was, you know, it was good. I think it was an experience I needed. It didn't go the way that I thought it could have went or should have went, but it went and it came. But playing for her, I think it was good. Just, she gives her players freedom, and as a player, like, I think any player would love that. Like, she'll stop you when you know you going off the tracks a little, but it was good. Like she knows what she's doing. Like she knows the game. She's very strategic. Like I like that about her. So it was good.
I could tell, like, listening to you talk, it's like you still wish you could have went back and did things differently.
Yeah.
But I know that all too well. You went. It went the way it was supposed to go, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Agreed.
you know, you learned a lot from it. I don't even have to ask you. I can see it in your eyes. You learned a lot of things from it, and you're gonna be a better person from it. So let me end with this, because I wish Wayne was here, but I know what your answer is going to be, but I wish he was there to say his answer. What was more important, scoring 2,000 points or winning the state championship in high school?
Oh, winning the states. Winning the states. I didn't. I had no. Honestly, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I had no idea I even scored the 2,000 points when I did score it, because I knew it was, you know, close to being there. And honestly, I really didn't care at the time. Like, I was just like, okay, like, but I want to win. Like, this is what I'm here to do. Like, and that was just always my vision. Like, like I said, I wanted that experience, that Camden High boys basketball experience, like their support system. Like, I wanted that experience for whatever I was doing. So I think winning states was just like probably the best thing that happened, because I still have those memories and experiences. Like, I mean, I scored the 2,000 points. That's great too. Like, you know, it's kind of rare, but
Kinda.
yeah, I mean,
yeah, no, that's rare.
I scored 1,000 points on a collegiate level too. So it was like,
look at that.
Winning.
Look at that.
Winning was really the most important thing. But without scoring those points, who's to say we'd have won state? So still winning.
The real reason I asked you that is because I don't understand why people put so much into the 1,000-point thing. Like,
yeah,
I guess you could cherish that forever, but you ain't win anything, bro.
I feel the same exact way. Like, I feel like you don't have really, like, you have something to show for it. Like, okay, yeah, maybe your name would be hung up.
Whatever.
On
to
a
me,
banner.
that's for them 35-year-olds playing at the YMCA. Like, you want to show somebody in this 35 and over league that I scored 1,000 points when I was 17.
Yeah.
Whatever, bro. I got a family. Like, I gotta go home to, and I gotta work tomorrow.
Right.
I don't care. But that state championship is different.
Right.
How many people doing that?
Who can say that? Right. I agree.
Us going up to North Jersey and winning isn't normal.
Right.
And people gotta put that in perspective.
Yes. Like, I just, like, even now, I see, like, the young girls and, you know, people coming up and they, like, winning back-to-back state championships and national championships. And I'm like, one was enough for me, because coming from where we come from, it's rare. Like, you don't see it. We don't get as much exposure as, you know, the teams that are in, like, T-Neck, like those type of teams. Like, they always get exposure because, I mean, maybe it's because, like, they're in, like, the New York area. I don't know.
That's another thing. You're coming from a true public school,
right?
With true Camden players,
right.
Like, we had a conversation a couple weeks ago, North Jersey versus South Jersey.
Yeah.
Look who y'all got to pick from.
A lot.
Like, what are we talking about?
And then we ain't even talking about, like, people who go to different schools. Like, they'll live in one area and go to, like, a whole different school in a whole nother area. Like, and I'm just like, no, this is where we come from. Like, where our parents and family come from. Like, this is what we built.
Right.
Like, so it was, I think states was the best thing for me.
Yeah. Nobody take it away from you. Well,
exactly.
I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, for sure.
I've always watched you from afar.
Thank you.
I love the person that you're growing to be. And, you know, keep giving this knowledge to whoever that you see on the street. You know, I'm telling you, it'll go a long way. You got a story to tell. You know, you went through what you went through for a reason. In order to give into these people's lives in whatever ways makes you feel comfortable.
For sure.
And that's it.
Thank
Appreciate it, Nelly.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. No doubt. Oh, Wayne.
He got scared.